Hey, we're back. Politics Preppers, Saturday night. TalkShoe.com, show number 120315. That's where you can get it. You can also get it on iTunes. So if you put Politics and Preppers into iTunes, you can find it there too. And you can probably find it a few other places. Tonight we got a new guest. He's not new to us. He's a friend of ours from way back. We worked on and off together for, I don't know how many years now. It's been a while. In fact, his show is how Al and I got together and met. Actually, we haven't ever met. We've seen each other. And when he drove through 35 going through San Antonio, he was within a quarter of a mile of me, but we've never met.
Yeah.
And he went through there quite a few times. Pete's up in the north by the Great Lakes, even though it says California. So anyway, I could have tied you in through the Skype call, but I figured for now this is the easiest way to do it. You know how to call in and everything anyway, so. All right, something I wanted to bring up tonight was President of Mexico, whatever the heck his name is. He can mind his own damn business. I heard tonight he wants the United States to put gun control into the states bordering Mexico. He knows that it was our government with Fast and Furious that put all those damn guns down there, and he knows what they tried to do. He just right on along with it. And their gun control is killing thousands of people. They got rid of guns a few years back, and they get more people dying from guns than we do. And they don't even have the population we do. So he needs to mind his own damn business. But of course, it's just another organized push from our government, too, to, working along with him. I wouldn't doubt if Obama or whoever's in the control these days called the jerk up and said, hey, why don't you help us out here, help us push this. Find one more reason, one more thing to keep it, talking about it and keep things going. It just, a couple of years back, he got in our business. He can't even run his own damn country. Their economy sucks because they don't run their country. It's socialist kind of crap going on down there. If they ran their own country, they wouldn't be illegally coming across the border and messing with us. And I know you're prejudiced. No, I work with a lot of people from a lot of places, and I don't care where they came from. Just come in legally. I wasn't raised prejudiced, and I don't like it. So whatever you want to think, you can think. But there's probably not many liberals listening to the show anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. If they do listen, they can't come in and tell me about it. So did anybody hear about that?
No, I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I heard about it about an hour ago or so it was on the Fox News. They were talking about it. But okay, first, Al, do you have anything that you want to get in tonight that I'm going to need to make sure I need to get to?
I was just, we went. I was telling you earlier, we went and met with the First Texas Volunteers.
Well, let's go with that before I get to I want to talk about the ammo shortage. So let's go to yours first.
Well, today, my son and I went to a meet and greet with the First Texas Volunteers, which is I guess it's part of the Texas State Militia. It's a group of them, and it was interesting. It was about 50. There was only about 50 people there with their wives. Their company is about 300 and growing. This is one company out of, I haven't found out the numbers, but it's quite a few from what I understand around the state. And they have field training once a month down on, it's just north of Boston there, about 75 miles on a 900-acre piece of land that they train on. But anyway, it's strictly constitutional. It's not offensive in any way. It's strictly defensive. Matter of fact, they require you to have a concealed carry to even join it. That way they know they don't get any bad apples that way.
And they do that so they know you've had a background check?
Yeah, that's the main reason.
I kind of touched on that topic last week, but it's okay to do some more. I wanted to hear about this group more anyway.
Yeah, and they're made up of, I would say 90% of them are ex-military. A lot of them I met today were recently, like the first sergeant of that company was, he got out of the military last October. And he says that the military most of them in the military are aware of what's going on. He was already, when he left the military, he left with intention of finding militia to join, to prepare for the coming events. And he was saying the same thing. The government doesn't have 2 billion bullets. FEMA camps, which he's aware of from the military, NDAA, all that stuff. He said they don't have all that just for the fun of it. They're planning on doing something with it.
Yeah, and anybody thinks it is just for the fun of it is needs to wake up. You don't buy that many bullets, hollow points, and so on.
Yeah, that was the other thing he said. We couldn't use hollow points over here in Afghanistan, or Iraq. He said they can't use them anywhere but within the United States. And 2 billion rounds is enough to fight an Iraqi war for 25 years.
Now, I wonder how many billion rounds have been bought in the last 2 or 3 months since this gun control thing came up, by citizens. Because there is just you can't find ammo hardly.
Well, actually, I found some on the internet. It is coming back a little bit. I have a couple of .22 rifles that I use for target practice. Right. And I managed to find some .22 longs, Federals, on the internet, and I bought 4 boxes of 525 rounds each, and I only paid $21 a piece for them.
That's about $1 higher than normal.
Yeah, but this was considering the scarcity.
Yeah. Well, I've been hearing places. Well, this kind of segues into the ammo shortage that I was talking about. People are talking about it all over the place, and I'm seeing a bunch of it. And I've heard people talking about they're paying, up some places $40 for a brick or a 550 rounds, because you can get a brick, not usually in individual boxes, which is 500, and I was getting those for 16 something not too long ago. And
22s.
Yeah, 22s, and then you can get them that aren't in individual boxes that are all packaged together. That's usually 550, and I think I was getting those, near the same price, depending on what brand, what store. But everything I'm hearing is the manufacturers are getting it, are working, 24/7 trying to keep up with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the government buying the 22s.
No, I think we are. I mean, because every store I go to, most of them I know the people that work in there, and they're saying the same thing. They're just, as soon as they hit the shelves, they're gone, and they're getting them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shooting anything. When I go out to the range, I'll shoot very little. Here recently, in the last month, I haven't shot anything but 22s. I'm saving the good stuff because you can't get it. And I didn't buy any of the 7.62s, and I didn't buy any of the 223s or anything like that. But I just want to get to 22 and see how that went. They do require 2 weeks for delivery, which, because it's mail order, I guess. But I was going to wait until I got that in first, and then I was going to. The 223s were priced fairly decent, and 7.62s. Actually, the 7.62s, if you bought enough, they got down to $289 a box.
Well, I've even heard of some people paying up to $80 for a brick of 22s. Now, I don't know what state they were in,
but
it's not that bad down here.
No.
I usually I think a lot of what's going on is people are scared. And you know what happens? Hurricanes, big storms or something come, everybody runs to the store and stocks up on a bunch of stuff. And they're scared, and that's what they're doing. And they're buying everything they get their hands on because they're worried they're not going to be able to do it later. And I can't really blame them. Luckily, I've been buying ammo for many years, and I put myself on a little budget. And about every month, I'll go out and buy a little bit. Or if I'm not buying ammo, I'll buy reloading equipment because I do that, or brass, whatever I need to go along with it, or gunpowder, whatever. And I'll do that. So I can reload a whole bunch. In fact, years ago, I went and stopped by several of the little tire shops that popped up over the years and just would get buckets of lead. Now, I haven't done it in a long time. I don't know if they'll just give them to you anymore. But it used to be, you get a 5-gallon bucket of lead, you couldn't stand to carry hardly. And they just give it to you, the wheel weights, because they rebalance when they just throw them away. So I've got just a bunch of lead hanging around.
No, I didn't even realize. I didn't even think about getting them there.
Yeah, and you may still be able to. You may not. It may have caught on to the point where it's it's hard to get. I haven't tried it in years.
Is lead expensive if you buy it?
I don't know. I doubt it. But when you can get it for free,
it's kind of expensive. We use lead boots in the roofing industry, and they're like $35 a piece.
For how big?
It's called lead boot. It's like on the top of your roof. They cover it with a sewer pipe.
Yeah,
it's made out of lead, and then they put it around the top.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They're around $35 to $45 a piece, depending on the size. So
how big?
lead is they weigh about 20 pounds, 10 to 20 pounds, something like that. So lead is not cheap, but we just throw those things away too. Well, actually, we just put them in a corner, and some guy comes by and picks up all the metals. Like we have like aluminum, different things. So we just put them in a pile because at least somebody's going to get something out of it.
Right.
Well, I bet you could still get a bunch of it free. I bet you could find it.
Well, we're giving it away for free. We just stick it out in the corner, and you could keep it.
Yeah, I don't know if if somebody going around collecting that stuff. But I bet if you went down when you got your tires balanced or something and you asked, I bet you could find some. I just haven't had to bother with it in so long. I don't really know anymore.
Yeah, that melts. That melts at a pretty little point, doesn't it?
Yeah, and part of what some of the people were saying was, somebody will come in right after they'll find out what time a store gets what day and what time they usually get their ammo in, and they'll be waiting there, get there early that day and just buy up whatever ammo it is that they want, and just buy all of it.
Well,
so some of the stores are going two different things that some of them are doing. One is, I think Walmart's like one of them, but it's probably the other ones that are limiting you to 2 or 3 boxes.
Well, Walmart's limiting you to 3 boxes. And my son says that the Walmart by his house, he knows the guy pretty well that works back there, and you have to be there at 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and you get your 3 boxes of 223s, the 100. They're 100-round boxes for $33. I think is what he said.
But there's a gun store not too far from here that I like to go to. Well, it's a shooting range, and they also, but it's mostly for shotguns. But they do sell quite a few pistols and rifles there too. But they're not, unless it's shotgun shells or just a few specific rounds of ammo. If you want to buy ammo, you can only get it if you buy a gun. Because what's going on is, if you come in and want to buy a gun, and they're out of the ammo for it.
Right.
All right. So what they're doing is, that if you want to buy ammo, unless it's just the specific ones that they've got there that they exempted from this rule, you had to buy the gun first, and then you could buy some ammo. And then even then they would limit you to a certain point. I don't know what that limit was. I didn't ask. But that's just good business. I'm sure people complain about it, but if I go in and buy a gun, I want to buy some ammo with it most times.
Yeah, there's a gun dealer here up near us that's got, like it's AR-15s, and if you buy an AR-15, you can buy 1,000 rounds of 223s. I think it was like, I don't remember what the 1,000. I don't remember what the price was, but they were telling us that you can buy 1,000 rounds, up to 1,000 rounds, which that's a good number to have.
Well, we got 4 guests, not counting East Nebraska.
So that means
but they're not doing anything in the chat. Yeah. I saw that you came back in. You got off the other one and came back on this one.
Yeah, I was getting an echo with Skype. I don't know. You were like talking twice. I could hear you in the background over and over again, so this is a lot better.
Oh, I'm glad that's not going on all over the place. Well, anyway, if anybody's in the chat, they want to put something in the chat there that they want to ask or share information or something, please do so. A lot of times I forget. I get on and I forget to look over at the chat room, but I got it over there going tonight, so I'm keeping an eye on it.
So none of these other people are called in; they're just on the computer listening.
They're just in the chat room. They're not called in.
Oh.
Yeah, at least one of them will be the feds.
Yes, number 5 has a question. It says sound, but I think they're gone.
Yeah, it looks like
Must be
some of them left the chat, logged in, left the chat. So I don't know if there's anybody left. But anyway, it don't matter. If they're there, they're there. Mm-hmm. If they want to join in the chat, they can go do that. Pete, you got any gripes or any information you want to get out there tonight? I'm sure you got gripes. We all got gripes.
Yeah, we all got gripes.
Yeah, it's the politicians and everything they do these days.
Yeah, they're just taking away our rights little by little, and most people don't even notice it, I guess.
They're jumping on it all hands-on shit right now. They're not even pretending they don't give a shit about our rights. They're just doing it.
Yeah, they just do it. That's all.
They have bought so many votes and bought so many people that, heck, that people just go along with it. Just keep giving my money. Just take it from those that are working hard and give it to me so I can be a lazy ass. I'll vote for anything you want.
Well, you got to remember they're following orders. They're not dreaming this stuff up their own. They're following orders.
But people are afraid to say something because they're not politically correct or something, you know.
Oh, yesterday.
And that's not right. That's not right, because I think we should be able to speak our minds and stuff.
You know how hard it was for me to... Go ahead.
For anybody who want to know what's going on, just go YouTube Ron Paul's farewell speech, and that says it all.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. The politicians that are doing all this stuff, they're not doing this stuff on their own. They're being ordered to do this stuff from the people behind the curtain. And we get mad at them all we want. I'm mad at them for not resisting. But they all are doing it under threat of some sort. Either, information they have on them, with the Page Boys or whoever they were sleeping with, or they don't want their wives finding out about it, or even threat of their life or their family's life. But they're following orders. They're just doing what's being ordered down the line.
Yeah, but that's no excuse to me. That is no excuse, because there's so many people that gave up their lives.
Exactly. And they've all taken money. But I know exactly. And that's why it's not going to do any good to try to defeat any of this at the ballot box. And I'm not advocating going out and hunting them down and, attacking the government. We'll get our chance to fight them when they come for us, and they are going to come.
Yep.
Sooner or later, because it doesn't look like there's enough people to stand up and do anything. But
the bad part is they got 2 billion rounds, and I don't have quite that much.
No, but you got a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people that are
Yeah,
aren't awake yet. They will be awake when that happens.
Oh, believe me. I don't know if y'all heard this, but Oath Keepers, you're familiar with that group, Pete, or you heard of them?
I am.
No.
Okay, well, Oath Keepers, it's a group of they go around the country getting the police and sheriff's departments to.
There's been a big push on that lately. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're basically getting the sheriff's departments and stuff to reaffirm their oath to the Constitution, and it's an educational thing to remind them that the Constitution is that they're supposed to follow the Constitution as far as gun confiscation, et cetera, and they've got they've been extremely successful. But anyway, I was listening to the president of Oath Keepers, and he's been traveling around the country to the gun shows and interviewing people about why they're buying so much ammo and guns and stuff, and overwhelmingly, they're telling him. I think he said, just the majority of them are saying they're getting ready for the coming Civil War. But he had some military people tell him that their commander told him that the first person that attempts to follow an order of gun confiscation, he will personally shoot him in the head.
No.
I mean, that's awesome when you've got, military commanders telling the troops that they, don't even think about following an unlawful order, because that's what it would be. It's an unlawful.
They won't be going to him and telling him personally.
No.
No.
But what will happen is, if you start looking, if you dig in the news, you will find that there are there's a purge going on in the military.
Yeah, they're getting rid of all the ones that defend the Constitution.
Yeah, it's been going on for about a year. And Petraeus.
You mean betray us?
Yeah,
betray
but
who?
Betray us.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
He was purged too, though.
I still don't like him. I didn't like him before.
I know I don't like him, but he was purged. You start looking into that, and there's a whole. He's actually started coming out and letting it slip out. That was more of a setup than not. They wanted to get rid of him.
Well, I suspected that. The way that went down, it just seemed like it. And a lot of people, they'll sit there and listen to the news, and they won't try to think it through. It goes in one ear and out the other, and they may remember a little bit about it, but people like us who sit there and we listen to it, and we look into it, we find out what the truth is behind the stories, we think about what else might be going on. None of this stuff surprises us. But there's a lot of people that just take it for whatever they say.
Right.
The news, yeah. But
yeah, go and listen to ABC, NBC, and CBS, and CNN, and CNBC. If you're brain dead and that's all you want to be, go listen to them. But if you want to make a difference and learn the truth,
for real though, they won't bring anything up that's for real. And like on some of the AM radio stations, there's some real truth in their programming and stuff.
Yeah,
but on the
no matter
NBC
who you listen
and ABC
to,
and all those, they're just
Yeah, and when you say there's some truth in that,
they cover everything up.
Yeah,
they cover everything up.
Well, I don't know, Pete. I've said it before. The reason they cover everything up is because the elitists own the banks, the world. The top 6 banks, and
they own the broadcasting stations.
A lot of them own some of the broadcasting, but the majority, the ones that aren't owned by them, still have to get loans from those banks, and they're not going to get on loans if they don't follow if they don't follow the agenda, so to speak. And
yeah.
That's exactly. That's why you don't hear them talking about stuff. They try to cover up as much as they can because it's the old golden rule. He who has the gold rules.
Yeah, but no matter who you listen to, you still got to be awake and listen to what they're saying, because people on the right have agendas too.
Yeah.
So You can't just go along with who says, they say this, they say that. This one's telling the truth, that one's telling the truth. You got to go find that information and look it up yourself. And I've probably said this many times, but after writing so many articles, especially when I was getting into history of some of the older guns, because y'all both know that I'm into Old West guns and Old West shooting and fast draw and competing like that, and into the history of that, the Old West and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you find somebody that's done some research, you still have to research that researcher and find out if he's got an agenda. Maybe it's the family of somebody that they're doing an article on, and they're biased about it.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides, you have to watch them, because you don't want to. So many people in the past didn't like one side of something, so they found somebody on the other side and just followed them blindly. You don't follow anybody blindly. And you really don't follow anybody. You listen to what they got to say, but I'm not a follower anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheeple out there.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here reading what was going on in the chat. He who the guns makes the rules. Well, it's not working because we got most of the guns and we ain't making the rules. But there's a lot of us, there's a lot of people that aren't awake yet either. Then they won't be awake until somebody tries to get their guns, and even then, they may just say, "Okay, like this." Oh, God! I got to put a new video out, and the Governor Scott of Florida. No, wasn't he like the first state he got elected on the being against Obamacare and fighting against it, and that's why he got elected. He had a lot of people voting for him, a lot of people working with him, trying to help him push to get. And I think that was like the first state or one of the first states to challenge it. And now he's saying he's going to go along with it and sign on to it. They need to recall that son of a gun. I called him a traitor. I said, I don't remember the exact title now. Maybe I'll go find it here in a minute. But something about being a traitor. Governor Scott of Florida, a traitor or something. But, I did a short video on that. And I think he is, because he stabbed everybody in the back. He turned his back on the Constitution. He turned his back on everybody who voted for him. He stabbed them in the back. He's a traitor to every dang one of them. Because now he's going to go along with it. And he said, well, it's 3 years that they're going to pay for it, out of the Fed money, and our people are paying the taxes on it. Well, it's not about the damn money. Excuse my language. It's about what you said you would do. It's about the Constitution. It's about being honest. And even if they do it for only 3 years, they're not going to get out of it once that 3 years is over. They're going to keep going. And I bet you he won't fight it at the end of 3 years. And yes, guess too, they're all traitors. Obama, Pelosi, Reid, and, there's lots of Republicans that are traitors too that go along with this crap. Because even some of the Republicans are sitting there going, well, we might look at some gun control. No more gun control. We got plenty, way too much already. We need to go the opposite direction. We need to get some people up there that say, well, that law's stupid. Let's get rid of that gun law and that gun law. Well, let me see. About 99.999% of them need to be gone. Okay, I'm finished with my rant.
Well, it's just like drug control, the war against drugs, how good is that going?
Yeah, it's not.
It's illegal, and everybody still has it. And people are still selling it and buying it and everything else. So what's gun control going to be doing?
Yes, guess too, shall not be infringed.
Right. There's absolutely no legal gun control law anyway.
And infringed is used, that's one of the strongest words, or the strongest words they use, not infringed.
Well, no, shall not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means
there's not a single gun control law on the books. You can't write a gun control law that doesn't infringe on the Second Amendment.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying.
Let me take it back. I guess you could write a law that says that you shall wear a gun at all times. That wouldn't necessarily infringe on it.
Yeah. That would. And some places have said you got to have a gun.
Well, they're saying that more women are buying guns now too.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of them.
I cannot go to.
There's shootloads of them.
I cannot go to Cabela's or any of those places without at least seeing at least two women in there picking out a gun. They went and got their concealed carry, and they're trying to find a gun that they can, conceal or whatever. But
like pink or something.
They buy purses that have concealed compartments in them now, where they can quickly grab the gun out. There's all kinds of.
I see this picture of a elderly lady, must be in her 90s or something, and she has a shotgun in her hand. She's pointing it out. She's going, "I called the police. We'll wait for them, and now we can talk about Jesus." It was funny. I kept it on my computer too, because I'm going to use it on my Facebook. But it's really good.
I like that.
Now we can talk about Jesus.
You want me to give you time to call your local funeral parlor? Set something up? Just in case you haven't already.
Well, I like that one I saw where it said I carry a gun because a cop is too heavy.
I like Pete's better, but that was a good one too.
Yeah.
All right, Al. Now, I have been meaning to ask you this for weeks, and we've talked about this before, and it's on drugs because Pete reminded me of it when he brought it up. I still think they need to legalize drugs because it's a waste of money and a waste of manpower, and they're using the drug war to use it to infringe on our rights. Well, I still think they need to just legalize the crap and treat it like alcohol.
Well, I can tell you why there's a drug war.
Well, I know why there's a drug war, but fill us in.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is look at how Fast and Furious got exposed, and that'll tell you why there's a drug war. Fast and Furious, for anybody that doesn't know, got exposed because a new border agent stopped a truck coming across the border from Mexico. It was basically a truckload of cocaine, and he was ordered to let it pass because it was a government load, CIA primarily.
Mm-hmm.
They used drugs to finance a lot of black operations. Been doing it. I mean, go back to Mena, Arkansas, when Bill Clinton was governor. Look at Oliver North when he was testifying about the Contra. I'm trying to remember now. The Iran-Contra deal. And they were bringing, they were trading guns to the Contras down in South America for drugs, and then selling the drugs on the streets here and taking that money to buy more guns. And so really all they're doing with the drug war is eliminating their competition. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, guess
what
who
they call
says
it, contraband.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, guess who says it'll never happen? The numbers are too big, and he's talking about. I'm sure he's commenting when I said that drugs should be legalized, but that's the point. That's part of the point. There's too much money in it.
Well, exactly.
But like this, I remember. Let me get my thought before I forget, like I did last week. I remember when they first started pushing the drug wars, and all of a sudden, every police department around had more cars and more people than they'd ever had before, because they were starting to be able to confiscate things and take them and sell them and get a lot of the money back.
That's part of the money maker. That's one of the reasons why they want it illegal.
But they're taking people's houses, cars, whatever,
Exactly.
And they'd sell it, and then there's their money. Of course, the feds would get their cut. But, I mean, the police departments around here after that just boomed.
Exactly. And look at all the banks that are laundering, drug money. Every year, you see little newspaper articles where Wells Fargo, got fined, $50 million for for laundering drug money. But when they're laundering billions, $50 million is just the cost of business, doing business for them. They don't care.
Nope.
And it is
extra ATM fees for it.
And that's why a lot of the stuff will never change until the government pushes the people too hard and we have to take it back. A lot of this stuff won't change till that. And I don't see any way around it. I hope I'm wrong though. Because you know what it means if they push the people too hard and we got to take control back. You know what it means, and I do not want to see that.
And that's the reason why people
they shall not infringe.
We're supposed to have guns, because if the government becomes corrupt, they should take over their government.
Well, that's even the forefathers said that. They said that is the reason. They didn't say so you could go out and hunt. They said so you could protect yourself against the government.
Right.
Yeah, and they're going to argue, well, they didn't have bazookas back then.
They had cannons, and it was okay to own cannons. They had rockets, black powder rockets and stuff. It was okay to own that. They didn't say anything about, any of the high-powered stuff that our military uses you can't have. They didn't say that.
It's the.
In fact, they went out of their way to say whatever.
It's actually, I can't remember who wrote about it, but it's the whatever weapon the standard soldiers have.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
So if they got M16 fully auto, then we should be able to have M16 fully auto.
Well, you could also.
Sweden.
Yes. And rocket launchers and grenades.
A lot of people have some of that stuff out there.
I know.
Let's see.
Well, I don't necessarily think I need to have those. I just feel like it'll come to me at some point.
Well, guess who says?
But what would happen if all of the United States was disarmed? Now a foreign country could walk in with a bunch of guns and kill us all. So there is something about defense.
Yeah, well, China is offering to assist our government in disarming the population.
Yeah, we've talked about that a couple of times, and they have. If anybody doesn't believe it, go look it up.
Twice now they have.
Yeah,
they have 2 times over a period of within a month's time have offered to assist the government in disarming the American people.
Yeah, put that into a search engine. You'll find it. And they're not even hiding the fact. That's been in all kinds of news. The big newspapers, liberal and conservative side, that's been all over the damn place. That's they're not even hiding this shit anymore. They're out in the open talking about it. But of course, a lot of the stuff, maybe it's reported on, but it's, at the back page of the newspaper or some little tidbit on ABC, then off to something else.
Yeah, they're not going to bring it up like it's major news. It's going to be
or it may run across the bottom of the screen while everybody's watching TV. Little short sentence about something. I don't hardly pay attention to that crap. But then I don't hardly watch the news. I get most of my stuff on internet articles and podcasts and radio shows, because that's stuff I can do during the day while I'm at work or back and forth from work and stuff.
Yeah, radio.
At night, I just don't have time for it. I don't have time to watch TV.
There's some pretty good shows on radio, truthfully, But
yeah. Well, and I've been listening to a lot more of the Tinther radio, and the first couple I listened to I thought was kind of boring, but once I started understanding more about what they were doing, and I got a few more shows down, it's a lot more interesting than I thought it was. So I've been listening to a lot more of that. Now I'm waiting for the next one to come up. Because they're talking about state nullification and stuff. And once you start to understand where they're going with it and what some of the states are doing, and they're also talking about oath keepers and stuff like that. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, they're actually writing bills.
Yeah, they're writing bills and offering them up to states that want them and stuff.
And yeah, and those bills are being
actually being used. Yeah.
Yes.
Some of them are being modified because of this, however, because maybe it doesn't quite fit what they want. But still, some of them are just taken straight from there.
Yeah, you can go on their website and read those bills. They have a Obamacare nullification. They have a Second Amendment preservation bill, which is being utilized in several states right now. Matter of fact, that one just passed. There was a scare in Missouri a few weeks ago where they were talking about confiscating guns,
mm-hmm.
and that Second Amendment preservation bill actually passed their in committee 13-0, which is unheard of passage. And they said with 13-0 voting, which is a bipartisan committee, there were 6 Democrats and 7 Republicans on it. Evidently, the Republicans are in control of their House, I guess. But anyway, they're saying based on those numbers, it should pass pretty easily in the full vote. So,
and shit like Washington State trying to make it where they could have the police come into your house and make sure you were storing your guns right and all that kind of crap.
Oh yeah, that'll never fly.
I don't know about Washington State because that state is kind of weird.
Well, did you hear the latest of what started this week though? Just started this week.
What?
Huh?
Go ahead.
What's that?
The VA has started mailing out letters, literally thousands of letters to veterans that have been diagnosed with PTSD or they've had medication or whatever, and they're demanding that, or they're telling them that they they cannot own a weapon, they can't even live in the same residence that a weapon is at.
And that's bullshit. There's no law saying they can't do that.
I know. And they're also telling them that they have to turn them in. So, and you can these letters Alex Jones has got some of the letters posted on his site where people have mailed them in to him. And he had on his show the other night, I guess it was Friday, a bunch of them were calling in that had received the letters. And one of the guy that he was fought in Vietnam had any involvement with the VA for literally years, and he got a letter.
Well, we knew stuff like that was coming. We've touched on that topic.
That's exactly what we were saying all along. They're going to try to do as much as they can outside of law, and that's one of the things they'll do. And if they do not, comply to that letter, then they'll be basically arrested and found as a felony. Have felony charges brought against them, but there's no law, so they're just acting outside of law.
Yeah, the guest who said we've learned how to beat them with the law. They're not going away. They like what they have. They want to keep it. There's going to be a war, and that's what I was saying. I hope this is all wrong, but I hope we can do it by using the law. They don't seem to care about the law. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the law.
No.
Even when a court says you can't do that, they do it anyway.
Right.
They're going to make up their own rules as they go, and that's not right.
Well, it's like the kid. It's like the kid they arrested for the water pistol. The charges of brandishing a weapon. Well, the definition of a weapon is very clear, and it's not a water pistol. But they still are charged with brandishing a weapon.
And the little girl that shoots you with my bubble gun or something,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And all they're trying to do is scare the kids into listening to what they want. They're just trying to brainwash them. And it's,
and they're doing it too. They're doing it.
Well, not only scaring the kids, but scaring adults too.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't do that. They did that to me. They wouldn't scare me. They just pissed me off. I'd be down there in their face. And if my kid couldn't go to that school, too bad. Maybe my kid can't go to that school, but they'll still get an education because you're not the only thing that can be done around here for education.
Mm-hmm.
But mine are out, so I don't have to worry about that, as far as my kids go.
I remember when I was a kid, in high school, well, it was junior high, I had metal shop, and we were making these little cannons.
Yeah.
And take like an M80 apart and shove it down there and put a ball bearing in there, stick it on a vise, and then light it.
Yeah. Or in wood shop, you cut yourself out a little gun
Make
that
a
shoots
plastic
rubber
knife
bands.
or something.
Yeah. Remember the little guns that shot the rubber bands?
And I carried a shotgun in my car, sawed-off shotgun in my car, parked in the student parking all the way through high school.
I had shotguns and rifles in the back of my truck or back of my car all the time.
And I knew guys that carried 25 automatics in their inside pocket of their blue jean jackets sitting in the classroom.
Yeah.
They never brandished it or anything.
No,
they were there. They had it.
Well, that was no problem doing that. Just don't, you didn't want people to know you had a gun anyway.
No. Their close friends knew they had it, but nobody told on them, and they never shot anybody.
Right.
Right.
And there was nothing wrong with it. I used to walk up and down the streets of Civil with a pistol on my hip and a rifle in my hand, and nobody gave a damn. I do it now. They'd be pulling over the cop cars left and right. What the hell are you doing? They'd have guns pointed at me.
Yeah.
And some of them know me, they'd still do it. Anyway,
Yeah, but there's some crazies out there now. There's some really crazy people, and I don't know.
Well, there's always been crazy people. They're just
there always will be.
Yeah, and there always has, always will be, and they're just
there
using it.
Was,
and they're making big deals out of it to get what they want.
Well, I still, I know that there's an elite group control, but I still say it's all demonic. You couldn't get that many people, like, for instance, the local cops arrest a kid with a water pistol. You couldn't get that many people on the same page with that craziness unless it was some kind of demonic control.
Well, that's all over the world, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not trying to get religious here, but I mean, it's
well, I don't mind a little religion on the show. It doesn't bother me.
I think we're looking at the last chapters of the Bible coming into play. Is really what it boils down to.
I think for a lot of people, that's what gives them strength. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but that's a two-edged sword, though, because a lot of people see it like that and say, "Well, it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it." And
well, they don't pay much attention to the religion, do they? Because
it makes a lot of people complacent.
Yeah, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. You don't
not
find
the way
the Bible
it really is either. It doesn't say.
You're not going to find the Bible telling you to just be complacent.
No, but I mean, we know how how it ends in the very end.
Yeah, but we don't know when, and we don't know if this is part of it. It could be 1,000 years from now. You don't just stand there and let things happen. You got to work against it.
No, I know, and there's no way it's going to be 1,000 years from now.
Well, it's just a number. I'm just throwing out a number.
It has to be within the generation that when Israel formed in 1948. It has to be within that generation.
Well,
and look at that little tiny country of Israel, and they are so powerful. They're surrounded by all these,
they got to be, with all the enemies around them. They got to be powerful.
Oh God, they are.
Well, I mean, the Bible says that when they form again for the third time, which they did in 1948, they'll never be destroyed again, and the end will come within the generation. The question in theology is how long that generation is. Some people say it's 60 years, and some people say 100 years, but it's definitely within 100 years of 1948.
Well, I hope there's some kind of math.
Or that will be the first Bible prediction that becomes untrue. And so far, it's 100%. So I just don't see that happening and not being true.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I don't want to go through that. God,
we just might. Well, we're getting in our elderly stages here now.
Yeah, we don't have to. At least we got to live some good years through this shit. You know, more and more, you know, a lot of what we've talked about tonight, and it looks like guest 2 is on board with this too, thinking along the same lines. But that's what I'm expecting on this show. I don't want a bunch of liberals stopping by anyway, so I would expect most people to be kind of on board with what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm not very politically correct anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm getting
and I'm getting worse about it. I'm getting worse and worse about it. I got in trouble the other day at work. I told them it's none of your damn business, you know. And I walked out. And the owner came and found me and gave me a hard time and said, "It's the way it is. It's none of your damn business."
My son on his, you know, he hauls illegals for a living, you know, for ICE, and he's got this ringtone on his phone. It's from, I think it's from South Park, and it goes like something like scanning for Mexicans.
Oh, no.
And he's been ordered several times by, you know, his command to take that off his phone, and he tells them, "Look, it's my phone. There's no cuss words in it. You're not paying for it. I'm paying for it. I'm not taking it off." So he said it's hilarious. He's driving around with a bunch of Mexicans and chained to the back of his phone go, "I was and scanning for Mexicans." He's already cruel to him because he said he'll pull into, you know, a Burger King or something and get something and say, "Anybody want anything to eat?" And I said, "Yeah, boss. I'm sorry, I can't take you."
You got to hear this one. We have a black guy that works, you know, on roofs, and he was in the NBA. And anyway, he was standing at like McDonald's, and this little girl goes, "Look, mommy, it's a monkey."
Oh, God.
And you know what he did? He goes, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." He just played along with it. But I mean, he's a real good guy. But,
well, most people understand that.
That would have been so freaking. That would have been so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Oh, he's from like around St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
And he was a roommate of God, what's his name? You know, with the shoes.
Jordan?
Yeah, Michael Jordan. He was Michael Jordan's roommate.
Oh, wow.
But he was on like he's not really that tall or anything like that. And he liked to drink and things like that. So he kind of ruined his career with not doing things the right way, you know. But, you know, anyway. But it was kind of hilarious the way he described what went on with that. But we have a lot of Mexican too, you know. And,
you know, we've been talking about the gun control and all of the times they're stomping on our rights and just being right out in front with it and not even caring that we know that what they're doing. And I know we've said this time and time again that it looks like this is what they want, is to create civil unrest and have a big war and a lot of people die, you know, a new civil war or whatnot. And the more and more, I mean, I'm already pretty much thinking that's what they want. But they're not backing off. And they know where they're going with this if they try it. So, I mean, I just don't see much else that they could be doing.
Right.
I mean, if you know that you're pushing people to the point they'll fight back, and you keep pushing, then that means you want them to fight. You're pushing them into a corner, and when somebody's in a corner, they're going to fight back.
yeah. I mean, even
You know, so
are that way.
you know, it's just your instinct. And then when in this country, for many of us, when you come to take our guns, that's it. You're in the corner, and you just, it's time to defend yourself. And that's just all there is to it. A lot of us understand tyranny, understand the Constitution, why it was done, why there was a revolution, and there's just so many people that don't understand it. But
And it's
there
a
are
lot
more
about
and more
the new
people
world
starting.
order, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
The
and
UN.
there's a lot of people waking up, and I don't know if that's going to push them to do it faster or it's going to back them down. I guess time will tell.
I know in Texas, there's some schools there that are following the UN kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I heard some stuff.
I heard about that on the radio and stuff.
I couldn't give you any details on who it is right now, but I heard some stuff going on. Yeah, I don't remember any exact stories right now. But they're also being pushed back on, too, from what I understand. And there's also a bunch of places here in Texas that are saying, we're going to let the teachers have guns. Not only that, we're going to put some extra guards in the schools. Armed guards.
I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Shit, no, there's not anything wrong with that. No. It was just a couple of months ago that the guy with the gun, it turned out he was an off-duty police officer, and it was a movie theater down here. There was a guy was going in to start shooting people. The off-duty police officer was there at the movie and stopped it before it got bad. It could have got a lot worse. But it could have been, and I wish we had time to sit there and every day go find the articles where a citizen defended themselves.
Well, they're on the back page.
Yeah. I would, if I had time, I wish,
But
I could go through the...
I mean, it happened here in Omaha. Somebody was like going into somebody's house through the window. The guy shot him. And it's like, now it's going to be investigated. And this guy,
Well, and there was one not too long.
The family of the person that was trying to break into the house going, but he was a good guy.
Yeah. Well, there was one not too long ago.
He was straightening out, but he wasn't at the time. Come on.
Yeah, well, right here in Santone, there was some guys broke into a garage, and then when they tried to come into the house, the homeowner unleashed on them. And I think he got shot, but just wounded, and I think he killed one of them and hurt the other one. But
and there's this guy at one of these convenience stores here in Omaha, and this guy is trying to rob him with a knife. And the guy behind the counter grabbed the big giant sword and started running after him.
I think I saw a YouTube or a news thing on that one a while back.
It was really funny.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I think
totally
I saw
funny. There's been other ones too, but this is just like local stuff from around here. It's kind of crazy, A lot of robberies and things like that.
I did the other night, I talked about, my YouTube channel that I do a lot of stuff for prepping, and I've started to do a bit more on politics videos over there. And I've done quite a few, and I tell them, just go over and put best bug out bag content. And I did that the other night, and it comes up with other stuff besides me. You won't know for sure if it's me or not. So I got to figure out a better way to let people know verbally what to look for. So I don't know what that's going to be yet, but hopefully next week I'll update that.
Oh, you mean to find your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Wow.
If they just put it in the search, because that's the name of it, Best Bug Out Bag Content, or Bug Out Bag Content. And anyway, I got to find a better way to be able to help people find it on the show. But there will be, you can, I'm going to make it easy on...
You could go off your blog and have...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting ready to say. We got, livefreenews.com. And once again, I'd say we haven't worked on enough, but hopefully we're going to be jumping on board that a little bit more. And
as it grows, it'll be easier to find.
Yeah. And I'll put, I'll make sure that there's a easy link, banner or something over there where they can click and find my YouTube channel. Plus, we'll be using videos from it on the blog too. Plus, I've got bestbugoutbagcontent.com. So you can go there. And it is, we're about an hour in. Is there anything y'all want to add before we call it a night on the show? All right, I guess not. All right, so remember Best Bug Out badcontent.com. You know something? There's another one that's so close to that I ought to make sure that I say it right. Badcontents.com. Because if you leave
the
the
way
S
you
off,
say it,
find somebody else's.
it's not very clear, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, because there's another one that if you leave the S off, you'll find them. And you know, I get confused sometimes, and I don't, or I get, you know, trying to go fast, and I forget to make sure that I'm saying things the right way. You know, where it's, you know, you can understand exactly what I'm saying.
It must be that Southern thing.
Yeah, it might be. You know, I don't have I just can't help myself sometimes. But anyway, all right. So I lost my page here. I was checking something, and then I got to get back over here. Anyway, Saturday nights, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That's when we do the show here at TalkShoe.com. Politics and Preppers. You can find it on over here. You can download it from here. You can listen to it from here. You can also find it on both the websites. There's a little place with TalkShoe on there, and you can find it there. iTunes, it's on iTunes. Put Politics and Preppers at iTunes and download it to your phone or your iPod or something, and you can get it there. And as always, on the videos and here at TalkShoe.com, there's a place you can put comments in. You can rate us. You can also do that kind of stuff over at iTunes. Any of that kind of stuff will help. Especially, I'm really trying to promote the YouTube, so any comments and ratings will help. Even bad comments help. So, but really, I like the better ones.
Well,
so
controversial comments are always good.
Yeah, well, you know, controversial comments get people talking. So they are good. I get a kick out of some of them sometimes. But
yeah,
that's the end of the show for tonight. So join us next week. Hopefully, we're going to get some of the video stuff going that we're trying to work on and do the show with live on video. So hopefully that will be done next week. We tried to get it done this week. Things didn't work out. But hopefully by next week. So we'll see you next time. Bye. You two hang around for a minute.